WDBK-FM, Camden County College Radio.
Madness. Total madness.
This is either madness or brilliance.
Trying to make sense out of all the madness.
It is now time for Midday Madness.
But it's madness.
WDBK's midday show where the madness is just beginning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Midday Madness here at Camden County College on WDBK 91.5 FM. And I am your host, Adelar Medina, here in the great afternoon here at Camden County, talking about sports. And we're most importantly talking about the NFL week that we had and the week that we have coming up. Today we have an amazing matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, as two veteran quarterbacks, Joe Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers, duel it out today for a phenomenal battle from beginning to end. Today, the line is set at 240 for Joe Flacco and then at 220 for Aaron Rodgers as far as passing yards. And touchdown-wise, they have minus 133 for Aaron Rodgers to turn back the clock and throw two touchdown passes, while right now it's plus money for Joe Flacco to throw two. And that is a very exciting matchup here today. We have those veteran quarterbacks slinging it, and then as well as we got the wide receivers with both number one receivers, Jamar Chase and DK Metcalf, at around plus 70 as far as receiving yards in today's matchup, as Vegas expects both of the wide receiver ones for both teams to get going. And then we got star players like T. Higgins and Darnell Washington for the Steelers. And this is a very exciting matchup because at any point, any of these players can go off. And in the exciting run game that's been going on with Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell has been phenomenal during the past week, as he's just been scoring at a consistent rate. And then you got Chase Brown, that for the majority of the season has been struggling. However, you just got to look at it how it is right now. Chase Brown is just right now on a downward slump, but at any point his stock can skyrocket up in the air by 100. And then this could be a very exciting matchup. Maybe this is the matchup that puts Chase Brown back on the map, as he's been underperforming since the loss of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, you saw him as a safety valve, but now without Joe Burrow, it's been a little bit inconsistent as far as Chase Brown. He's kind of more like a scat back, a nice receiving back that's going to be a nice safety valve, and not a consistent runner between the tackles. But maybe this is the game that Joe Flacco just consistently goes to him, and maybe he can have a 2-touchdown performance. Cincinnati Bengals fans would love to see that. That's very exciting to see. And right now it is the money line as far as the team. The Steelers go into this game at minus 5.5 with minus 270 as far as money line, and Cincinnati Bengals are plus 5.5, so they're getting 5.5 points, and the over under is 44.5. So far during the year, Thursday night football games have been more exciting more than ever, as at some point it was around 15-14 type of games, a little slow scoring, methodical type of games. But now these teams have been game planning against each other, and maybe the little time of game plan is leading to more mistakes, causing to more scores and more big plays. 44.5, it looks like the over is going to smack, as both teams have explosive playmakers that can make amazing plays at any point during a game. And I'm very excited to see how this game turns out. The 5.5, a divisional matchup, always going to be very close as far as who's going to make an impactful play in order to make this game close. However, I just got to point out the obvious. The Bengals have been terrible this year. The Bengals just been inconsistent decision making, and maybe it's not entirely their fault, as they lost their quarterback Joe Burrow, but we got to look at it as it is. Even with Burrow and this offense producing, the defense has been performing terribly. The defense has just been inconsistent as far as everything all around. And then it's even led to disgruntled players like Trey Hendrickson that's been looking for that contract. And rumors are looming in the air as far as the trade possibilities for him. As right now, his place here in Cincinnati is in question, as at any point he can potentially be gone. And he's such a dynamic playmaker that the Bengals losing him would be a total and abysmal killer as far as how they want to run their defense, but an amazing piece as far as the team that would acquire Trey Hendrickson. Just imagine Trey Hendrickson finds his way into a team like the Patriots. That's already a nice young defense that's been just playing hard-nosed football right now. Or even, I don't mean to get your hopes up, but imagine him in Philadelphia. Imagine how he makes the trade, brings Trey Hendrickson to Philadelphia, and now you got to worry about Jalen Carter and Trey Hendrickson. I know offenses would be scared to death as far as how they would game plan around that, especially offensive linemen. Offensive linemen, like, they don't want to see that. That defense would just be amazing as far as how they would pressure a quarterback. But back to the Cincinnati and Steelers game. This game has been, the Steelers this year have been on a consistent upward spiral as they just consistently win games. I know they had that one loss against the Patriots, but at the same time, you got to look at it how it is. The Patriots are a very talented team. Drake May is going under the radar for a majority of the season, but he's working his way up slowly but sneakily towards that MVP conversation. I know a lot of people don't want to put him there yet, but then you have to look at the facts. He's been consistently showing up for them. 3 touchdown performance against the Saints, and he's just been lighting it up as far as the team-wise when he's playing. He even beat Buffalo, that everyone was marking as a loss, but he went and ended up beating Buffalo and beating Josh Allen. Drake May is for real, and he's still young, and he's here to stay in New England. But going back to what we were talking about, the Steelers lost out a matchup against a very talented Patriots team. But as far as teams that they're expected to be and teams they're expected to perform well against, the Steelers have been doing their job. It's been a little sloppy. It hasn't been beautiful as far as execution-wise, but then you just have to look at it how it is. At the end result, at the end of the day, they look at that win column and they see a nice little W there, and that right there is all you need right there in the National Football League. It is very hard to win football games in the National Football League, and they just consistently find a way to do it as they make little mistakes, and they're coached really well under Mike Tomlin. But the Bengals just been inconsistent. The Zach Taylor's just, he doesn't have an answer as far as how he can continually produce winning football in Cincinnati. They have the pieces. They have star players like Jamar Chase. They have star players like T. Higgins. And the defense is probably the worst Bengals team I've seen in my lifetime. I've seen some very, very bad Bengals teams, and this is by far one of the worst defenses I ever seen come out of Cincinnati. There's just too many mistakes, too many errors, and then too many mental errors at that from a very talented defense as far as players that came out of college that you're expecting to just light it up, but just been a little too inconsistent there. But I personally, tonight, looking at the matchups, divisional rivalry, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning and covering as well. I just believe the Steelers are just the better football team, better coach right now. And it seems like right now Cincinnati's running around with their head cut off like a chicken as far as they don't have answers for anything. They're just, right now it's looking like it's a boiling pot, and it's slowly getting hotter every single day, and especially for that head coaching position under Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor did help them win a Super Bowl, but you did see it's just ever since then it's just been inconsistent, and you see the talent, you see the star players. They should be in contention for AFC Championship and a Super Bowl every year, but it's just been a consistent wheel of misery that just keeps spinning and spinning in Cincinnati. And I think this can change. Maybe a nice head coaching spot would change that. It's like people are available. Like a Joe Brady with a nice offensive mind would bring a nice, interesting look to Cincinnati. Joe Brady's done well with Josh Allen. Maybe him in Cincinnati is maybe a head coach. I know right now Zach Taylor's job isn't in peril. It's nothing to think about right now. But listen, if this continues to happen, there's got to be a change. And obviously, you're not going to make a change at the wide receiver and the quarterback position. So next man up, who is it? Zach Taylor. So Zach Taylor, listen, you're not at the door yet, but you're halfway there. And then you're walking your steps each and every day towards that doorway. And at some point, you're going to have to open it, and it's going to lead into a new destination as far as a new team to coach. And then that's just the line. I understand, but it's just that's the final thing. It's very interesting to see. I'm very excited to see what happens tonight. I'm very excited for this game. Our text line is 856-345-9325. I repeat, 856-345-9325. That's our text line here at WDBK at 91.5 WDBK-FM here at the Camden County campus. I'm very excited to hear your text messages and text in. Who do you think is going to cover today? Do you think the Bengals are going to cover that 5.5, or do you think the Steelers are just going to run away like I do tonight? Very exciting here. Very exciting news here at WDBK. I'll be back here after the break.
Did you know that Camden County College has a job board? If you go to collegecentral.com/CamdenCC, you can register and be matched automatically to jobs via Job Agent. They have tools such as an online resume builder, career-related announcements, career-related articles, and more. Just visit collegecentral.com/CamdenCC to sign up.
That Camden County College has a food pantry. Camden County College has food pantries open to assist students in need of food and various supplies. For donations or assistance about the pantries, please contact EU for food distribution. The with monetary and food donations by our college community. You can donate to the Marketplace's Amazon wish list through the foundation or by stopping by as well. Please consider donating.
Are you a justice-impacted scholar? Well, we're here to help here at Camden County College. Empower your future and unlock your potential with academic support and scholarships, transportation assistance and referrals, essential goods and resources to aid your well-being, student life programs to enrich your college experience as well. To learn more about justice-impacted scholars, contact Irvin Sweeney at the Kansas City campus, who is the Director of Campus Operations and Retention at 856-227-7200, extension 1279. And on the Blackwood campus with Senior Option Program Manager Mark Taylor. You can contact him at 856-227-7200, extension 4437. Let us know what we can do to help. Are you ready to transfer or beginning your transfer research? Then join Transfer Services for a transfer fair at the Camden City campus on Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025 from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Over 20 representatives from four-year institutions will be available to meet with students to discuss the transfer process, scholarships, majors, and student life in the CTC building. Did you know about the TRIO Student Support Services Program? The federally funded TRIO program is designed to enable low-income college students, first-generation college students, and students with a documented disability to stay in college until they earn their degree or transfer to a four-year institution. The Student Support Services Program at Camden County College will assist students with basic college requirements, provide opportunities for academic development, and motivate students towards the successful completion of their associate's degree or transfer to a four-year college. Student Support Services will provide academic and career advisement, tutoring assistance, completion of financial aid forms, and much more. Contact TRIO at 856-968-1335. You can also email them at studentsupport@camdencc.edu. The location to find out more information about this program is on Camden County College's Camden campus, located on the second floor of College Hall. The TRIO Student Support Services Program, where the students are destined for success. award-winning Pine Barrens Chorus is looking for men of all ages who love to sing in the 4-part harmony a cappella style. The Pine Barrens Chorus is located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and is a membership organization of 4-part harmony singers from ages 18 to 90 plus, representing all walks of life in southern New Jersey. If you are interested in joining, email contact@pinebarrens.org and let them know you're interested.
We are back from the break here at the middle of the hour. Here are your hosts, Adele R. Medina, here at WDBK-FM and at Cannon County College. And I'm here talking about NFL sports right here at the campus. And right now, we just talked about the Steelers and Bengals, but we got much exciting matchups here this weekend against other teams. Like right now, the 4-2 Rams versus the 4-2 Jaguars. Jaguars had that very exciting a Monday night win against the Chiefs that everyone was really impressed. Trevor Lawrence with an amazing game-winning drive that no one really saw coming, as a majority of the people were thinking that the Chiefs were just going to etch that one out and end up with a W at the end of the day. But Trevor Lawrence put on the backpack and ended up leading that game-winning drive, as he had an amazing throw to Brian Thomas that led to him running in that touchdown that would eventually lead to a victory. And then the Rams have been pretty good at playing football this year, I might add. As they are just, right now, I know they're coming off a loss, but you got to think about all the wins. They had an amazing win against the Colts that right now people are having the Colts as probably a top 5 team in the NFL, but just how consistent and well they're playing. But altogether, this matchup is very exciting because right now, you have a very fantastic Rams team. I don't know the status of Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is obviously that star player that everyone's just circling right there. Other than that, for the Jaguars, Brian Thomas is available as far as the other players right now. The Rams are favored by 2.5, and it is in Jacksonville. I think this is going to be a very exciting matchup. I'm very excited to see what happens. But I think the Jaguars ultimately prevail, and I'm going to be very excited to see how that does as far as the matchup-wise against wide receivers and corners. And I'm very excited to see how Travis Hunter is incorporated into that defense and offense. I've just been waiting. I feel like at any point, Travis Hunter is just going to go off, and it's just going to be a habitual thing that happens. I'm just waiting to see that touchdown score and see him on that TV, and I'm very excited to see when that day happens. Maybe this is the day against a very talented Rams team that opened the line up at 3.5, but a lot of people have just been consistently hammering it, where right now it's a 2.5 line at this point. We have other matchups as well between the Raiders and the Chiefs. The Raiders and the Chiefs just been a very historic divisional rivalry, as for the majority of the times, the Chiefs for the recent years just been dominating that rivalry. I know the Raiders had that fantastic win Christmas Day with Antonio Pierce as their head coach that really shook the Chiefs up, but it's an interesting line, and the fact that it's a 12.5 line in favor of the Chiefs. I haven't been too crazy of a fan, especially about how the Chiefs have been running the team as far as defensively. But the Raiders just been looking terribly. Geno Smith, I had super high hopes for at the beginning of the season. Just been really letting Raiders fans down as far as poor performances week in and week out. Ashton Genty is yet to consistently find like a nice groove. I know he had a couple games here and there where he scored multiple touchdowns, but I think for this Raiders team to be successful, you have to be a consistent 100-yard rusher as far as this team. Because if Geno isn't going to get the team going as far as in the air, you need Ashton Genty to be that Ashton Genty that we saw in Boise State, competing for a Heisman that just dominates. And I think that that's the only way the Raiders really win this game, is a very dominant performance by Ashton Genty and Geno Smith not turning the ball over. I think they cover the 12.5, but I think the Chiefs ultimately prevail and easily win that game. Now we have this tank bowl right here between the Dolphins and the Browns. The Dolphins and the Browns both go into this game 1-5. We saw that performance by Gabriel last week that just looked a little lackluster. I know he's still a rookie, but you're trying to win games here in the NFL, and then those performances are just going to cut it. And then they're going against Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins. The Dolphins, on paper, should win this game. I believe they have the leadership and the veteranship in order to win that game. It's a matter of, would this be the tipping point? Will this performance lead to potentially a win streak in Miami? Or would the question be is if they end up losing and falling to Dylan Gabriel and the Browns, would this be the final game and final stint by Mike McDaniels as his final hurrah leading into the sunset? He is one of the most phenomenal offensive play callers in the NFL, and I know he's going to be hired in an instant as soon as he's fired for an offensive counseling job. I believe how it is, because they don't want to get rid of the offensive coordinator. But as far as offensive coordinator next year going into the season, I think he's going to be very much available. Then he's going to be very much pursued after. But it's just a shame to see how it ended up in Miami. You had very high hopes. You enjoyed the persona of Mike McDaniels, but at some point enough's enough, and then you just have to come out with wins in the NFL. And that's, unfortunately, I believe that is attributed to Agree holding on and starting to this day. I think at some point he had to make the move between looking for another quarterback and sticking with Tua. Paying Tua ultimately benefited Tua because obviously it's a big contract and he's pretty much set for life based on that contract. But I just didn't believe Tua really deserved all that money as far as like consistent performance wise. I believe there was other quarterbacks available that could have probably helped you, or even someone you could have drafted and let Tua go to maybe a different team, and maybe a different team does pay him that amount of money. But the health factors were there, the inconsistent plays were there, and right now we're seeing it all into fruition. I know it's been one-score games that they've just been consistently losing on that. However, you just got the same mistake over and over again. Same opportunities, and he's not scared at any point for his job security. What are you supposed to do? Like, it looks, and right now, the way the media is talking about Tua, and then the players are talking about Tua as far as the Dolphins players aren't really respecting him as a captain. And then they're going into the media complaining about some of his play and everything, and it's just going under the radar. I think he's either got to step it up, or maybe this is the game that he does it. If not, Mike McDaniels is pretty much let go. And if Mike McDaniel goes, then there's no telling what the next head coach is going to do. Are you going to try to move on from Tua, maybe trade him away, and then even trade away the pick to just get his contract off the books? Or is it just like a brand new, fresh start, drafted rookie QB, the bench Tua, and see what happens moving forward? I'm very excited to see that matchup because there's a lot of stuff looming in the air. I believe the Dolphins win that game. I know the Browns are favored 2.5, but I just got to trust the leadership of the Dolphins to a degree, and I just have to have faith that if they don't win, it's everything comes crashing down for them. Now we got the Patriots and the Titans. Patriots and Titans. Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick out of Miami. Phenomenal quarterback. He's shown glimpses of why he was taking number 1, but his team is just lackluster as far as being able to protect him. He's just been getting hit consistently on a day-in, day-out basis, and his wide receivers haven't really been helping him out either. I don't know the status of Calvin Ridley, but I just going against the Patriots team and the way Drake May is playing, I just don't see a world where the Titans end up victorious, unfortunately. And I think the Patriots easily win this and cover the 6.5. Now we got the Panthers and Jets, and I know a lot of people are probably circling this game saying, like, you know what, Panthers are terrible, Jets are terrible. Let's just write this off. This is the Jets' first win, but we just got to look at it from this perspective. Dolphins beat, the Panthers beat very talented teams. They beat the Cowboys, which a lot of people did not see coming, and they also have 2 more wins throughout the year. I think they are a sneaky good team that just everything just right, and the emergence of Rico Dowdle has just been amazing as far as Panthers, because right now this is relieving the pressure from Bryce Young to make consistent plays every single play. And then this is just letting him play most of his game, rely on that run game, and let him run that play action and him get that ball out to McMillan to score those touchdowns. And I think the Panthers will win this game, and I say comfortably, as they not only cover the spread of 1.5, but you can probably tune it up to probably 6.5. I believe the Panthers are that type of team where they're just talented enough where they can just win against the Jets. And as far as the Jets wise, they've been playing good defensively. They've been playing well as far as that side of the ball. But the offense, you can't win games if you can't move the ball down the field. And if you're not scoring, then it's just going to lead more pressure into that defense. And it doesn't matter how well the defense plays. If the defense never comes off the field, they're just going to be exhausted, and that's a fact. That's if they're just consistently exhausted, how are you supposed to expect them to make plays? So I have the Panthers winning that game comfortably and covering that spread. Saints and Bears, Caleb Williams, amazing win Monday Night Football as he was victorious over the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. The Bears are a sneaky good team. People have been talking down on the Bears, talking down on Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, but you got to think about it. It's the first time together. It's the first time that Caleb Williams has really been under center, as he's been consistently in the shotgun formation for a majority of his career. And now that he's getting a little bit more comfortable, he's seeing what Ben Johnson wants him to read, similar to Jared Goff when he got into Detroit. I believe that the